Hello everybody, so today we're going to make a commentary video like we have done many times in the past. This will be a Sanguine Depths 17. I would go as far as to say it's one of the better runs that I've played in. It's one of the better performances that I've done. And I end up at, I think, 5.9k overall. And I almost beat the mage and I beat the boomkin in my group, right? So I'm pretty hyped about this video. I tried super hard in this run, and yeah, Sanguine Depths is a hard dungeon, dude. So we'll get into it right now, and we'll see if we can learn something from this together. Okay, we'll try to spot my mistakes, and I'll talk a little bit of what I'm doing. All right, so the countdown is happening. In the countdown, you can put out one of those target dummies and get like a slice and dice before you pull, but it's very minor. It's not really something you need to bother with, to be honest. I mean, such a small increase. So here we start with the roll the bones, probably, right? Yep, and the potion maybe as well we can have. Yeah, there we go. All right, and here I open pretty early before he's gathered mobs. You can only open this early if you tricks the tank before, because otherwise they will go on you and they will kill you. So don't do that. So here we're just focusing one target down at the time, trying to cleave the rest of them. I had a comment on my last video saying that, like asking if I could have better quality or something like that. The problem is, like, the reason I don't have that good quality is because it's taken directly from the stream. It's a stream VOD that I download and then I comment over it. The reason for that is because it's really hard for me to know which runs to record and which runs not to record. And I do like 12 hours of Mythic Plus per day. If I record every single run in 12 hours, then my computer is gonna explode from overload, you know. So that's why I had the quality will be a little worse, and I apologize for that, but it's just this what it is. Hopefully you guys can still see what's happening, you know. All right, so we're trying to get some resets here. Mark for death, keeping our blade flurry up, very important. Watching out for the echoing thrusts here. But here Outlaw is really useful on packs like this, because then you can stand outside of like the traps and the echoing things and still hit the mobs and have no problem at all. So mark for death from stealth here maybe. Oh no, we're going all in, dude. Right, so slice and dice here, perfect. Roll the bones. There we should have blade flurried before we did the blade rush. That was a mistake, because the blade rush does more damage. Does 100% of the damage to the off target if you have blade flurry up. Otherwise it does less. So here we're just DPSing down the tick. You could hit him with the kidney here as well, but I didn't really feel like it was necessary because it was so they were dying so fast. And here you hit him with distract, so he doesn't patrol into us. I don't think he was going to anyway, but and here we open on the inspired mob. For those that don't know, the inspired mechanic is one of the mobs makes the other mobs in the pack CC immune and interrupt immune. So on a pack like this, it's kind of tricky because you see they get stacks there, like you see my weak R explode something. It when you can't interrupt it, they get stacks, and yeah, when they have the stacks, it's kind of dangerous when you kill them, but not really on tyrannical. It's more so on fortified. Like on fortified, a 7 stack like this would probably kill you. But here it's kind of fine. Alright, so we have one more pack before the boss. We mark for death one of the small ads here, because that ad will die first, right? So that way you don't have to think about min-maxing it during the encounter. If you already did it on the small one, it will reset here. You'll see soon that it's gonna reset. Soon, whenever they kill it, it will reset. Maybe it won't reset. Oh, there it resets from the one I was on. And then we start DPSing a small one to get the reset. We go on the big one so we can interrupt it. We pop Adrenaline Rush here, even though it's the pack before Pride. Because I believe that you will get Pride before, or you will get your CDs up before Pride anyway. Or like during Pride. Because you don't have to have your CDs up for when Pride spawns. You only have to have it at some point during the Pride. because it's really important that you as an Outlaw rogue do a lot of damage to the prides. And I'm always top damage by far on the prides, so that other DPSers can hold their CDs for the boss or whatever comes after the pride. So your job as an Outlaw rogue is to make up the damage difference when the other DPSers are holding their CDs. But when you're playing with a Boomkin, it's not really a problem. Usually the Boomkin will do quite well on the Pride. But here we will pop our Adrenaline Rush again that we have up, even though we popped it on the pack before Pride. So that's not a problem. Popping it before Pride is not a problem, as long as you don't do it at the very, very end of that pack, which you shouldn't do anyway. You should never pop Adrenaline Rush really at the very, very end of a pack, to be honest, unless you can get like a good uptime. So there you can see the Pride damage there, 4.2k, was pretty good. Alright, so here we should have Mark for Death, the little ad, right? Because the little ad will die super early, and then we could have got a free Mark for Death reset. But I mean, I didn't do that, because I rarely min-max my Mark for Death actually in dungeons. It's kind of hard sometimes. So here we're all soaking. I should have fainted before the charge there to take less damage. Feint is really strong, and you should definitely use that for things like the charge, just to reduce damage. But yeah, we didn't do that. So here we actually have Adrenaline Rush up again, as you can see. I'll explain what I did there. So we have Adrenaline Rush up again, it's great. So that means that you can use it on the pack before Pride, you can use it on Pride, and then you can use it on the boss with your Pride buff up. See, I still have 1 second of Pride, and yeah, so I lose Pride for like 4 seconds, which really isn't a problem. Here, they make the mistake of not soaking forward. Since we're kiting the orbs in this one, you have to soak forward. If you don't soak forward, then you will have a problem. So what we're trying to do here, we're trying to line up the orbs so we can kite them with the boss. So I didn't do the jump with the hook there. But what you do is, right before he does the smash, you jump, and then you hook in the air. So then the orb will spawn below you, and you hook away from the orb. So it's you shouldn't do it if you don't know what you're doing. If you do it wrong and with wrong timing, then you will hook into the orb and kill yourself and your team probably. So I wouldn't really recommend that unless you actually know what you're doing and like you understand the timing and stuff of the smash. But since we're doing this kite tactic, I just try to place it at the back, and then I don't really like. I could hook to the boss back there, but I didn't do it. I was kind of weirded out honestly by this tactic. And here you can see I'm safeguarding the boss. If an orb comes close enough to take the boss, I will soak it, right? But this tactic was really, really impressive. It's the first time that I see it done in practice. But kiting the orbs like this was very, very smart. But it's really important that you soak the charges forward. Here you can see we almost fuck it up because the mage is soaking backwards towards the orbs. And if you soak like that towards the orbs, then you can really get fucked up. So here it's important we kill the boss. I probably should have stayed on the boss DPSing there, because yeah, if we don't kill him, then the orbs fuck us up. But yeah, this was a cool boss fight, like with this tactic. So our boss damage there was pretty good, even considering we have to run out a little bit. Here we're DPSing the wrong target. Here we should be DPSing the inspired target. I switch here. Now I switch, but it was a little bit late, and I already put between the eyes on the other one. So I definitely should have picked the target right away, because this pack becomes very difficult if you don't DPS that one, because then all of them are free casting the whole time. And we have a Boomkin that can use the beam, and also the treants don't work if the inspired is up. So the treants from the balance druid, that is. And treants from the balance druid is really strong this week with necrotic. So you definitely want to have a balance druid when there's necrotic around, because the treants he spawns, they taunt away from the tank, and then the tank can get his stacks reset. So here we reapply Blade Flurry, there we go. Alright, and then we're just beating on the overseer. Here you can LOS the chains, but he's tanking it kind of weird, so like I won't be able to LOS, because he's trying to put the mob inside, and he's trying to stand so he can heal. So he manages to LOS, but not me, because yeah, I didn't have time to adjust to his positioning, right? And here we should stun one of the oppressors. We do that, yeah, perfect. Look at me go, dude. All right, so kidney shot is a great ability to use. I use it with the focus macro, and I use it on off targets all the time, pretty much. Almost on cooldown, I would say, on like during packs, because it stuns for 6 seconds, and having 6 seconds where the mobs don't do anything is very nice. So let's see if we do it here. Hopefully, right? Since I was talking about it, maybe we don't do it, but we try to do it as often as possible. It's really useful, but sometimes I'm thinking about other things and I forget about it or whatever. It's not the end of the world, like it's not gonna wipe your group or anything, but it reduces damage taken by the tank, and it reduces damage taken by the whole group, basically, on casters like this especially. So you definitely want to stun off targets like that can be stunned. And here you want to distract this patrol. If you have this patrol, you want to distract it. I was a little bit unsure if we were going to shroud here or if we were going to go into the room. But we were going to go into the room, so I distract this guy so the druid can get in, and then we beat these guys up. These guys don't have any inspired mob on them, so it's pretty nice there. You just kick what you can, and you can use a kidney shot here as well, but they were already getting AoE stun, so now it wouldn't be any point to even kidney shot, because it would be like a 1-second kidney shot because of the DR. But we definitely should kick, and we did. So now we're gonna go over the bridge after this pride. So we're gonna get this pride, then we're going to shroud with the pride through 2 packs. So this is a bit of a monk-ass shroud, but hopefully no one fucks it up, right? And no one does here. And the druid got hit there, not good. It's really dangerous to get hit by those spikes, especially like once you get into high keys, because the healer already has trouble healing it. And then like if you start getting hit by a bunch of spikes and shit as well, then it's a problem. But yeah, it's definitely something you want to avoid. But sometimes it happens. It's nothing you can do about that. And here I summon my Kyrian steward for the potions, right? Because yeah, you'll run out of potions. All right, so here we shroud. We stick to the right here. We hug the wall here really close because the Grand Overseer is right there. And then we just cross this little thing, and it's really important here that you do not open the door, because if you open the door it will break your shroud, and everyone else, if they're behind you, will go out of stealth and they will probably pull the pack behind them. So it's really important that you do not open the door there. And there we have some barbed shackles that we stun, or that we kick. These scribes, we also want to stun them for sure. I think we stun this guy, right? I think so. Yeah, we do. So the scribes are really good to stun because they have these uninterruptible casts called throw research, and they just throw the research at you, dude. And here we focus the red one, because the red one can be kicked and the gray one can be stunned. So we DPS the gray one and we kick the red one, like you see there. So I have a focus kick macro for that as well. I've started using focus macros for kick, kidney, and blind and gouge as well, and it's been really useful. It's mostly because I was PvPing, right? But it's also super useful in Mythic Plus. Like incredibly useful, like the best thing I ever did, kind of thing. Alright, so here we have a pretty big pull. We pot here as well, I think. Yeah, we do. We pot here. It's a big pull, dude. We get some nice damage out. You can see me there at the top. We pop Adrenaline Rush as soon as it's up. I kicked the red one there, and then I swapped back, I think. Here we're taking a lot of damage. I didn't mean to Blade Rush in like that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't stand in this, but like I was trying to do damage to it. It kind of sucks when a pull like that happens. It's like I can't go into the pack. So to avoid that, you should stun the gray one. If you stun lock the gray one, then he won't cast the pool on the ground. At least not during the stun. I mean, he will do it. He will do it after the stun. So you have to like chain stun him as much as possible. So This guy is super easy, right? We just do our normal single turret rotation, get a reroll here maybe. Yep. I've gotten a lot better at my rotation, I feel like, because I don't spot as many mistakes. It's not a lot of time when I sit there and I look and I'm like, yeah, I should do this, but I don't do it. That kind of thing. It used to happen a lot before, but now I don't really have that issue anymore, which is nice. Here we could stun the scribe. We stun something. Oh, we stunned the ad. Oh, that works. But now he's recasting Explosive Anger, and someone else kicked it. Perfect, because I don't have kick. And here we mark for death the main target here, because there's a lot of stuff going on, so we mark for death the main target. Pretty much always mark for death the main target in dungeons. It's still better than the other options, even though you just do it on the main target. Sometimes I will get resets, if it's possible. Sometimes you get resets just from doing the main target, like here. But here, unfortunately, I swap off the mark for death target for some reason. I could have got another reset there, but... And here we have perfect adrenaline rush for this. As I said, our job in Mythic Plus is to kill the prides. I mean, our job is to do damage. We're a damage dealer, right? But killing the prides is a really important task we have in dungeons, because then the other classes can save their CDs. This damage meter doesn't show pride only, it shows the pack before as well, because we never left combat. But if you saw the pride, usually on the prides it's like I do about 4 to 5k DPS, and the mage does like 2k, and the druid does like 3 or maybe 4k. So we do a lot here. Here we mark for death the ad before we pull the boss. It's really important that you mark for death the ad before you pull the boss, because then it will reset when you pull the boss, because he instantly kills the ads when you pull. So then you get a free reset already from the start. Here we should roll the bones. Roll the bones. Roll the bones, please. Because here's a lot of shit going on, because I'm dodging. I'm not even looking at my unit frames right now, or my bars. I'm just looking at the ground, trying to dodge stuff. So on this boss, Rogue is really good, because you can cloak and you can vanish the castigates. So you should save your vanish there. I didn't save my vanish. I used it either on the pride or on the boss, I don't remember. But you shouldn't use your vanish for damage on this boss. But we're gonna be fine with cloak here. I don't even think he does it on us, actually. No, he doesn't. But it's good to save vanish and cloak, because what you do then is you wait for him to finish the castigate cast, and then when he starts channeling like that, then you need to vanish. So you have to make sure you don't vanish too early. And always nuke the ads. And here it's really important that you full on switch to the ads. Doing the cleave with Blade Fury is not enough. You need to switch, like completely switch. And here he kills the mage, but this boss is almost dead. On Tyrannical, this boss is a real pain in the ass, dude. We get an ad here, and I cloaked the last ad, actually. Yeah, I was cloaking the ad, because he does pulsating AoE damage, the ad. So I cloaked the last ad. So I can use DPS the boss. So here we don't actually go down right away to the third boss. We're getting percentage, right? So we're not behind on percent. We open here a little scribe, but I'm sure we will pull it with the next pack as well, right? Maybe not, because the ghoul is kind of dangerous. I should be focusing the ghoul here. I should be DPSing the ghoul. We get the patrol as well, perfect. So I put focus on the red one, but I should be focusing the ghoul, because the ghoul is more important to kill. We could also get a stun here on the scribe if we wanted to. We have a stun available, yeah, there it is. And we kick the explosive anger with focus kick. Like, you see that, how clean focus kick is? Like, I don't even need to switch target or anything. We spend way too much time running in the red stuff there, but it's just... It's hard, man. As a melee on these packs, it's hard. And there I do another Blade Rush that's completely wrecks me. Because Blade Rush is tricky. It's like sometimes you're in your melee range and you take one step too far back, and then when you Blade Rush, it takes you like right into the boss, even though your melee range is really big. So you have to be careful with doing Blade Rush, because it can kill you pretty good, like it almost did there. But yeah, we definitely want to stun the gray ads better. I don't think there are any more of those now, but we definitely want to stun those better so they don't spawn the pools, at least not right away. Because if you stun them early, then at least you will get more time to DPS them, and as soon as you see them, you should nuke them in a stun. So here it's like I'm DPSing that guy, but then it's like, okay, so there's a bunch of mobs over here, I'll just go cleave on these mobs and hope that the ranged finish off the other one. Alright, so regular cleave fight here, Blade Flurry into Blade Rush. I don't feel like I've made any real mistakes so far in this run. Like I said before, it's one of the runs where I feel like I played the best, better than I usually do, I guess, on stream. I don't know. You guys that watch the stream, you can tell me, but yeah, I felt like this run went really well for me, both personally and of course you also timed the run, which was nice. So here we're gonna focus the Depth Warden, and we're gonna DPS the Scribe. We should do the other way around, actually. We should DPS the Warden and focus the Scribe. But I mean, this works too. This has the same effect. We kill the Scribe and we focus kick on the Warden. And we could also stun the Scribe at some point, maybe. There it is. Perfect. Because usually, I feel like when I make these videos, I will sit here and I'll be like, yeah, you should stun the thing here, and then I don't do it on video. But like now I feel like a lot of the stuns and a lot of the stuff, I actually do it the way that I think you should, you know? So that's nice. And another one, dude. I really should make that smaller. I still haven't made it smaller. It's kind of covers the video when I make the video after, you know? But, well, maybe I'll make it smaller if I remember. Alright, so here we should stun the gray one, right? Here, if we kidney the gray one on his cast right now, then he won't even put the pool on the ground. He will die before he put the pool. So that's a mistake right there for sure. You need to stun the gray ads. But I haven't been doing that this run, and I didn't really think about it until now watching afterwards. So we're learning something today for sure. So next time I will stun the ads better, 100%. Because you can stun them, and then when he casts again, you can gouge. When he casts again, you can even blind, because you don't use the blind for anything. And then after that, you can hope that someone else has something. Worst case, you can vanish Sheep Shot, but then it's going to be really DR'd. Yeah, you can do everything you can, basically. Just throw everything you can to try to stop him from putting the cast. Because in this comp, the only thing the pool on the ground punishes is you. The other guys, the other two DPSers, they won't lose any DPS on that. They won't lose any DPS on that, so it's only you that lose DPS. So here, it's another grey one, so here we should stun this one. So see, if we stun that pool, then I would have been able to keep DPSing, but we stun the Oppressor instead inside of the pool, so like, yeah, it's... We definitely, if we learned one thing from this video, it's that we need to stun the grey ads in Sanguine Depths, because otherwise they put this shit all over the place, and it punishes me super hard because I can't DPS, and yeah, it's not great. So here we have Pride. Watch out for those arrows up there, perfect. Our damage on this one would be a little low, I think, because people were cleaving on the ads and DPSing the ad instead. You can see the mage is DPSing the ad instead. And I don't think DPSing the ad is the play here. I definitely think you should DPS the Pride. You can interrupt the ad and stun the ad, but you definitely need to DPS the Pride. And I felt like a lot of them didn't do that, or a lot of them. I think the other DPS didn't do that. I was focusing the Pride the entire time, but as you can see, it's on 20 stacks now, 20%. Whenever the Pride is on 20 stacks, it's quite dangerous territory. But it is what it is. And something else, if you didn't know, if you get the pride debuff, like the arrows, if you get them put on you or someone else, they won't go off after the pride is dead. So even if you have them, like I had there running into the boss, like you don't have to worry about it. And here, on this boss, you need to take 3 orbs. 3 orbs minimally. That will put you at about half health if you use feint. Otherwise, you will maybe almost die actually. So feint is really strong here. I use feint for every single one. Here I actually remember to use feint because I've learned to do it. But yeah, so here you want to use feint for sure on every single AoE thing. Right of supremacy. So on this one you want to use feint. So you want to get 3 orbs. You need to make sure you get at least 3. Maybe you could survive with 2 as well, but it's kind of close. But there I basically took no damage, as you saw, even with just 3 orbs. I don't know why that is, because the first one I had 3 orbs and feint as well. But then I took like half my health. So I don't really understand how it works 100%, but yeah. With the druid is dead, not great. So yeah, we're just pumping here. I actually go to combat rest. I learned to combat rest today, and this one is fine. I say don't accept here. He doesn't accept. Good, and I will cloak this one. So that's why I didn't take a single orb, because you can cloak this one. So you want to cloak one and you want to communicate that to the group. Even if you're not on Discord, you can write before the pull. You can be like, I'm cloaking on the third one or something like that. So they know. So then they can pick more orbs around melee. But yeah, I got the combat rest because yeah, for situations like that, exactly. Because we have a combat rest in the group, but it is the druid. So what if the druid dies? Who's gonna combat rest? Exactly, someone with engineering. And they don't use my professions anyway, so I really should have engineering. So that's why I got engineering. And here we make sure we feint as well. We don't take that much damage. Even with 3 orbs. Watch out for the torment on the ground. Yeah, I'm gonna make that smaller, and I'm gonna put it like above, so it's not in the middle of everything. I'm gonna do that right after this video, because it's I appreciate all my followers, of course, and all my subscribers, but it's hard when I make a video and it's like pops up all over the screen, dude. So we'll sort that out. All right, so here we focus the inspiring mob. Someone's calling me. All right, sorry about that. That was really strange. All right, my phone was just vibrating even without like someone calling me. It was just vibrating for no reason. All right, strange. Moving on. So here we need to avoid the traps. You can soak the traps with cloak. So if you have cloak up and you want to help the group, like in this situation, using a cloak and soaking these traps would be really good for the group. I don't have cloak up, and even when I get it up, I don't think I soak them. Now the pack's almost over. I get a little bit shut in there, so I have to run around. But yeah, you can soak the orbs with cloak if you want. So here we're shrouding past these mobs. It's important that you distract them like I did there, so the overseer gets distracted to the left. To the right. His left, your right. But alright, so now we're entering the last thing. We're gonna mark for death the sprite here, and we're gonna DPS general call. We're gonna also try to kick some dark bolts and stuff. We're gonna DPS the acolytes because they do crazy damage. This gauntlet on tyrannical is really hard because the boss is buffed by tyrannical. He's not buffed by fortified. So all the ads are buffed by fortified. All of the ads are buffed by fortified, and on tyrannical only the boss is buffed. So that's why you need to put a lot of focus into the boss damage, because you actually have to do a lot of damage for him to move to the next stage. So you should be DPSing the boss pretty much the whole time here. Something else to think about that I told my group at this point was that if the tank is kiting and the gloom squall is getting cast, then the tank, you need to move to the tank if he's kiting the necrotic stacks, because he might be kiting the necrotic stacks kind of far back. So then you need to make sure that you move to him. Alright, so there we push him. I'm gonna try to do a lot of resets in this gauntlet. I always try to do a lot of resets here. Like reset my mark for death. But I will also use it on the boss a fair few times. So Blade Flurry into Blade Rush, into a reroll, perfect. And then it can vanish into it. Yeah, there you go, dude. I'm pressing my buttons, dude. I've gotten a lot better over the last couple of days, weeks, like the last week maybe, like doing these high keys and really focusing on what I'm doing. Because in these high keys, like you really have to be on your A game, and especially if you're pugging only like I am, then it's really important that you put out good damage and you perform well and you don't die from stuff and you just play good and you communicate and stuff like that. All of that stuff is super important if you're only pugging, because you want these people to like you and be like, yeah, I want to play more with this guy. And if you're like extremely toxic and you flame people, you're not gonna get invited into a lot of more groups. So I generally try to not do that at all. So there we marked for death and add, and then we get the reset, and we're gonna mark for death here again though, because we could have marked for death the dogs, but yeah, it's very low in my priority list to min-max mark for death. It's not needed, it's not necessary. It does more damage, yeah, a little bit, but it's still, mark for death still does the most damage even if you don't min-max it. So I will min-max it when I can, but when I feel like I can't, then I won't min-max it. And that's what it is. It is what it is. So moving into the next pack here, we don't even have events here for this, and we have really good time. You can see here we have 10 minutes left on a Sanguine Depth 17, and we have 2 packs left, one of which we're shrouding to the boss. Here the Moonkin beam is really good. I feel like the Moonkin is the best in Sanguine Depths. Like the Moonkin beam is just so useful in Sanguine Depths, because there's a lot of packs with a lot of small casters. So if you're gonna play with the Moonkin, you definitely want to do it in Sanguine Depths. Oh yeah, okay, so we have one more pack. So we have, oh yeah, okay. I thought for some reason we only had 2 packs left, but we have 3 packs. But yeah, the timer is still really good. Alright, so here we're moving into another pack. You can stun an Acolyte here. It's really good to stun an Acolyte. But just kicking the Acolyte is also good. And we do neither, but it's the thing is that if there's like AoE stuns and stuff like that going on, then our stuns are kind of wasted, because like we waste damage on like DR stuns and stuff. So if there's like AoE stuns and stuff, we don't really bother with that. Another one. Yeah, I'm gonna make this smaller, guys. I apologize. Here we stand in the shield. Keep DPSing here a little bit. Alright. We have the dot here, as you can see. He puts that on random people, and it's really strong. Like, it does so much damage, because the boss is buffed by Tyrannical. You can see my health there. That's just from the dot. Like, I could easily die from just one dot. And there we should feint. When he does the Dread Volley, we should feint. And when he does the Gloom Squall, we should also feint. We should feint for every single cast the boss does. So that's where we need to get better. So I feel like so far in this run, we need to get better at feinting and stunning the Grey Ad. Stunning the Grey Ad and feinting. I think that's the biggest things we need to get better at. But it's kind of dungeon specific, at least the stunning the Grey Ad one. Because I have been stunning a lot, I just haven't been stunning the Grey Ad very much. So here we focus the Chamber Sentinel and we put focus on the Skirmisher so we can stun him like that. So I am using my stuns, it's just I should have used my stun better on the Grey one. So here I'm gonna show, like I showed the stream, like yeah, you can use evasion to stand in the circles on the ground, like the ones that the Chamber Sentinel does, and it doesn't do damage to you. But you should do it, you should save it for a moment like that. You see, that was really close. You should save it for a moment like that. I used it to like show the stream how to do it, and then I got stuck in a position where I really should have used it. So you don't want to waste it like I did. If you can move out, you should move out, because you want to keep evasion. If you get trapped in a corner like I did there, then you want to be able to use evasion to save yourself. You don't want to use evasion for just no reason, because yeah, I can do it, look, and then yeah. So but that was just to show the stream, so yeah, it is what it is. Right, so here we're going to focus the Inspired Houndmaster. Here I get really hard hit by traps because it's like I'm trapped in the door and then he kites the mobs out and then there's a bunch of traps stacked there. I should have cloaked earlier. I had my cloak up, but I cloaked after I took the damage because I panicked. I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't see the traps on the ground. But there, honestly, that I wouldn't even say that was my fault because it's like the placement of the traps there, like tanking them all in the doorway like that, and then like kind of locking me into the room. That there was kind of a bad placement of the ads. But yeah, I should have cloaked there to be able to run through them without taking damage. So if I didn't have sheet death, I would have just died there to traps. So sheet death is just amazing. I love sheet death. Are we gonna use the trinket here? We use it for verse. Okay. I don't like that. I should have waited with my trinket and used it for the execute effect instead. My cube. Because executing the prides are actually pretty good. It does like 17k damage just like that. It's pretty nice. Alright, so last boss. This boss, you can use evasion. When you get the arrow over your head like this, you can use evasion and it won't hit you. So as you see there, it doesn't hit you. It's going to be really interesting actually, this kill, because I get one shot at one point and I want to see why I get one shot. I think it's because the other guy with the arrow is standing too close to me. Or I'm standing too close to the other guy with the arrow, I'm not sure. So here you're just DPSing him. When you get the arrow, you can actually try to run. When you have pride, you can just run and he won't hit you. Like this. So if you just run, he won't be able to hit you. So I run there so he doesn't hit me, as you can see. But I also use my sprint there for no reason. Like the pride movement speed is enough to dodge the swirly. So now I don't have anything. Now I'm gonna try to hook, but I end up like completely wrecking myself. Like I run into that there, I think. I actually don't think I ran into anything, because then I would have had the second stack. And then I would have been dead, pretty much. I don't have any Curian potions right now, but I summoned my little Curian dude, as you can see him running up there. Curian potions are really good on this fight, because they can remove the bleed. So after you get hit by the charge, you just remove the bleed, and then you don't die. So we're gonna look here really closely now why I die on this fight, because the boss fight's almost over. I'm leading in DPS, I'm gonna win DPS, but somehow I get one shot here. I think it's here. No, it's the next one. Alright, so I'm really interested to see why I'm dead. So I'm leading in overall, I'm doing 6k overall now, and I'm really interested to see why I die. There it is. Oh, it's because we're too close. He's too close to me. Why? Yeah, we're too close, that's why. I felt like he was following me there. But I mean, I was following him too, kinda. But it's like, I'm the melee. He shouldn't even be like this close to me. I feel like. But I also should have seen where he was. And sorry, now we're going back a little bit to look at this. But you see this, like I should have gone to the other side. I can't blame him for this. I should have gone to the other side when he was there, but I ran to the same side as him because I didn't really see him, and I guess he didn't see me either. But it just sucks getting killed by a ranged person being in melee range. But I definitely could have played better there, and I always try to look at my own play before I look at anyone else's, because what I can control is my own play. Like if I sit here blaming other people, then like I'm not gonna get anywhere. So I definitely should have went to the other side of the boss and taken the other route. So you need to look where the other arrow is, because if you don't spread the arrows out, like we have done the entire run, if you don't spread them out, then that will happen, what happened to me, and you will just get one shot. And since I didn't have sheet death, then I just get one shot and I die. So we definitely want to be careful with that. But you can see the DPS meter now on the right side. I did 5.9k overall, and the Boomkin did 5.1, and the Mage did 5.9 as well. But I was only 24 DPS behind the Mage. And if I managed to not die on the last boss, I probably could have beat him actually in overall. Alright, so the loot here, we get the decanter of Anima Charged Winds. I already have this, so I traded to the Demon Hunter. It's pretty good, although I've heard reports of it has a very narrow cone. Like, it only hits the targets that's absolutely in front of you when it procs. Which could make it so it seems better than it actually is in practice, which is why I've been using the 200 eye level file of putrefaction. I really hope I get a new one of that soon. I've been running a lot of Plaguefall, man, but it just doesn't drop. But yeah, so in conclusion of this run, I think I played it pretty good actually. Like, I didn't make any rotational mistakes, like forget about slice and dice, forget about roll the bones, forget about between the eyes, anything like that. I should have stunned the gray ads, and I should have used my feint better on AoE situations. Like, when he does the charge here, the last boss, you can use the feint as well to take less damage from the charge. So in general, I just need to start using feint better, and I need to start stunning the gray ad better. Other than that, I felt like it went pretty well, and yeah, we want to keep up slice and dice all the time. We want to keep up roll the bones all the time. Between the eyes is the highest priority thing we have on a high health target, because 20% crit is huge. So we use between the eyes on a high health target, and then we put up slice and dice, and then we put up roll the bones. I think you can do roll the bones first as well. I mean, both of them you want to do them, right? But I think roll the bones is more important than slice and dice because of the amount of buffs that you can get. The like, because the buffs will give you a burst, it will give you damage right away, while the slice and dice is like to proc the legendary, you know, and that will probably not happen right away because it's just an 80% chance every 2 seconds. So yeah, between the eyes, highest priority on a high health target. Then comes roll the bones. Then comes slice and dice, and then you just do all your other stuff, right? Of course, Blade Flurry is even higher priority than that on multi-target. Like, you ambush, and then you Blade Flurry right out of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was useful to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.